Christianic C1 review covering Las Vegas and the world. Today, we have a great one for you. Legendary actress Michael Learned is here. She is best known for her role, of course, as Olivia Walton in The Waltons. She's going to talk about a new movie today, Our Crossroads, among other topics. Michael, thank you so much for being here. Such a delight to have you finally on C1 Review. How are you today?
Thank you for inviting me. I'm good. I'm really good. Today's a good day.
Today is a good day. It's a sunny, nice day where I am. I think it's a sunny, nice day where you are. I can tell by the light in there.
Out. It's really beautiful. Yeah.
And
absolutely. Cool. It's perfect temperature. It's gorgeous.
Yep, we're still got some of that here on the West Coast, though. Thankfully, still here. I'm here in Las Vegas. I'm guessing you're in California.
I'm in Los Angeles. Yes.
I pretty much figured as much. We still get some of the nice weather, at least for a little bit. Let me just begin with this. How are you doing, and what is the message to your fans for the ones that have followed your career all these years?
Well, can I take the fans first?
Sure, of course.
Because my fans have become friends. I have some really close female friends who started off by just writing me letters. And one of them, the oldest fan that I have, is not that she's old, but the longest, who has been a friend of mine, is Holly Newman, who is a Canadian, lovely, lovely woman. And she used to write to me when she was a little girl and would write with all these colored pencils. And we are still friends all these years later. And she's got gray hair now, she told me. So, yeah, I enjoy that.
And how are you doing?
I'm healthy. I'm good. I'm, not what I was at 40, but I still can climb stairs. I don't take them two at a time anymore. But I'm good. I'm happy. I'm grateful. I'm having a very good golden year.
And you're in an upcoming movie we're going to talk about in a minute that's going to have some screenings across the United States starting next month. But first, before we get to that one question, why did you want to become an actor?
Well, I was going to an English boarding school, which was primarily for dancers. I wanted to be a ballet dancer. And one semester, the drama teacher came up to me and she said, you're not a very good dancer. Why don't you think about becoming a special drama student? So that was it. It was like, well, you're right. I have flat feet and I'm too tall. And so they had a special unit in the school. It was primarily for dance, but they had a little group called the Special Drama Group, and I became part of that, and that was it.
And so then tell me, got a new film coming out. There's going to be some screenings in November and December across the United States, Our Crossroads. Tell me about it and your role.
I play a woman who is physically challenged, a wonderful woman, Barbara, who takes in foster children. Excuse me, I don't know why I'm coughing all of a sudden. And Pat Boone is my husband, and it was just a lovely shoot. I think I really only shot one day, but they shot all my scenes with him. And which was lovely because you go in and you work the whole day and you don't sit around and wait and wait and wait, which is what kills me. So that was it. I haven't seen it. I don't know. I hope it's good. It's a true story. It's based on real people. Well,
I will put a link to the movie website down in the description of this YouTube, and of course on our website, C1 Review, so people can learn about the upcoming screenings that are coming up in November and December. Let me ask, speaking of this movie and this role, what do you still enjoy about performing today?
Well, it's really nice because it's intense. You become a close-knit family for the time you're shooting and sometimes forever, because I've made friends that have been lifelong friends that I met on a set or whatever. And some people get married and fall in love. That didn't happen to me that way. I got married and I have been in love. So, but not because of a set. But it's a very it's just an intense experience, and you have to pull on your own feelings and your own emotions. So you have to keep that little child alive inside of you. I always picture a little girl curled up inside me with her little white panties showing and her little party dress and her. So when I get scared, I just go, "It's okay, little Mikey, it's okay." And that sort of soothes me.
So, would you say that you've had some stage fright during your career?
Oh, are you kidding? I'm terrified. I'm terrified for the first week on stage. After that, I kind of settle down and forget, that something might be expected of me that I might not be delivering. Because it takes me a good 2 weeks with an audience to settle in, to know where the laughs are, hopefully, and where, whether the audience, you do feel whether the audience is with you or not. And the worst thing you can do as an actor is to try to win the audience back when you feel that they're leaving. You just have to focus more on where you are and who you're with on stage, and try and forget about the audience. But it's a collaborative medium, the stage. You know all this. I'm talking for people who are not stage savvy, but yeah, I think the audience is as much a part of a performance as the performance itself.
So then let me ask you, I was going to ask you about this later, but we'll just jump ahead before we get into the other stuff. Reflecting upon your stage career on and off Broadway and beyond, what did you most enjoy so far from your stage career?
Oh, God. Well, naturally, whenever you're successful in a role, you remember those experiences fondly. I did The Best Man on Broadway, Gore Vidal's play, and meeting him and getting to know this gentle man who is always presented as this kind of fierce, fighting liberal, and really he was just a gentle, sweet man. And somehow just having lunch with him, just going for a walk and chatting with him was a really great. And Edward Albee, the same thing. I became very close to Edward Albee. He reminded me so much of my father. I wasn't afraid. He's a growler. You know how some men growl, and underneath that growl is the tenderest heart. And I didn't, my father was like that. So I didn't buy Edward Albee's growl. I just looked for his heart. And he came to see a show I did, and I thought afterwards he was going to come back and make fun of the play, but he didn't. His tears were streaming down his face. It was a play about Alzheimer's, about a man getting Alzheimer's and going through the process of realizing what was happening to him. And Edward was just sobbing, and he said, "That's me," and it just broke my heart.
Of all these experiences over the years, before we get into some of the highlights, talk about the Waltons and all that stuff, I mean, you've had a long acting career. You've met so many people, talking Gore Vidal earlier, all these great, accomplished artists, creators, producers, writers, all these kinds of things. Are there any kind of moments that you still reflect on today of people you've met in Hollywood, performing, New York, Broadway, anything that comes to mind beyond that?
Well, I will say there was... I had a moment, a kind of thrill when Arthur Miller walked into the rehearsal room. I did one of his plays, and in summer stock, actually. And when he walked into the room, he's this very tall, commanding presence and very sexy man. He, in his 80s was. I mean, this was several years ago. And as an actress, this wonderful player, to be in the same room with this incredible playwright of my lifetime was a real thrill. And Edward, as I say, Edward Albee, I come from his kind of the background that he's writing about, the waspy whole good manners and underneath seething with resentment kind of, I don't know, not everybody, but of course, I mean, but the whole WASP experience where you have to have good manners and be proper and do the right thing. And not that I have anything against that. That's a good thing to be. But sometimes it can be a little rigid. And he writes about that, I think, Arthur Miller. He tries to convey the seething that can go on underneath those quiet, calm, polite, good manners.
Thank you for that amazing Arthur Miller story. That's phenomenal. I mean, Gore Vidal, Arthur Miller, I mean, that's the price of admission right there. Thank you so much for those. Really appreciate those stories.
I guess I'm dropping names. I didn't mean to.
Yeah, but I love that is what I'm saying too. It's like you never know when you ask these very general questions where somebody's going to go. So I appreciate those kinds of stories.
Thank you, Chris.
Focusing on the Waltons, part of the golden age of television, what comes to mind when you think about that? Like, what's the most general thing you think about?
Well, the Waltons gave me a second family. I really love those. Now they're not kids anymore, and Ralph and I both cared deeply about all of them, and I think they still care about us. Well, Ralph, of course, is no longer with us, but and I was very close to Ralph. We really loved each other, and all of us. It was a love fest, really, and yet. I complained and moaned. Sometimes I remember Eric Scott making me laugh once because I was really upset about just bored to tears sometimes. And I'd rather be washing windows than sitting and waiting and waiting and waiting and, or at the ironing board going, and then what happened? And then where did you go? And that kind of thing. So, but Eric Scott always tried to make me laugh. He played Ben. And he always succeeded. And I remember once he made me laugh so hard, and everybody went, and that I started to cry. And I had my head down on the kitchen table, and I'm sobbing, and everybody just disappeared and went for coffee and came back later when I pulled myself together.
Do you think that maybe because of the stage fright, and you seem to be one of these people who's like, I want to do my lines, I want to read my part, and I want to be on to the next thing. Is that fair to say? Like, the waiting of the anticipation for your cue to happen seems like something like, I'd rather it be at the beginning. That kind of the personality you are?
Well, I love doing the stage because, I always say the difference between the stage and television is on stage, you're a racehorse and you get to run the race. On television, you're a plow horse and you get to plow the field. And it's stop and start and stop. And there's a rock. You got to get the rock out of the way and plow and plow. So I find, obviously, the stage is more rewarding because you have an audience that's part of you. It's part of the play. It's a collaborative effort, really. And so is television. I mean, you've got a crew they're working they're always there first. And then we come in a little bit later, not much, but a little bit. And it's a long, hard day for everybody. And so I find the stage emotionally more rewarding than television or film. But financially, I love doing film and television because it's what pays my rent.
Oh, absolutely. I can totally agree with that. So here's my question. What did you learn about yourself when you were playing Olivia Walton?
I didn't. I learned that I was really a jerk in that I was so blessed to have been given that role, and all I wanted to do was get home and be with my kids, not that I didn't love being with the kids on the Waltons, but my kids, I moved and made sure I was only 5 minutes away from the studio so that I could get home if there was a break or could get home at lunchtime. I remember once my son Lucas got the flu or something, and they sent him home from school and he was home alone in the house. And I just went to the script supervisor and said, I have to go. I'm going to make sure my son is okay. And they said, fine, we'll figure it out. And they did. They rescheduled everything, and I got to go home and be with Luke and make sure that somebody came in and was there with him when I went back to work. So, all of that it's a tough business, but there are a lot of really good, hardworking, good-hearted people in this business.
Oh, absolutely. The media, entertainment, creative world, we all try to help each other and we all try to accomplish a goal, which is, the goal is sometimes very hard to accomplish, but we do our best. It's a team effort. There is no industry that's more of a team effort than that, for sure.
That's right. You're absolutely right. You can't do it alone. in this business, or on stage for that matter. I mean, you've got, I just think that stage work is more rewarding in terms of the experience of having an audience, but doing I love it when the phone rings and I have a job. I'm thrilled.
Oh, I can imagine that for sure. Before we ask a couple more about the Waltons, 86 years old, I believe, right? What do you still want to accomplish? Like, what haven't you accomplished yet?
Oh, that's I don't know. I've been gifted with so much. If I ever write a book, I threaten to, and then I don't. But it would be his hand was on my shoulder because I was so broke when I got the Waltons. I had no money. I was going through a divorce. I had 3 teenagers to support, and I had nothing, really nothing. I was driving a used VW Bug, and I stayed at you know my story. I stayed at a motel for $12 a night, and that, and just to visit casting people. And within 2 weeks, I had the Waltons. It was like, this was meant for you.
To be a story on that in general. I mean, what the reality of what it comes down to is that I'm guessing, would you say it was the most challenging time of your life right when that started?
Absolutely. And during. I mean, it's tumultuous to suddenly people are waving at you and wanting your autograph, and you've come from nowhere, really. I remember once sitting in a hotel lobby, a really fancy hotel, because they put you up in 5-star hotels when you're doing a news conference or something, and thinking, God, I guess I've arrived. This is weird. And it was, but it was also rewarding. I've made, I've made good friends. People who watch that show are usually very nice people. The Waltons I'm talking about.
Absolutely. So then what was it like to celebrate the 50th anniversary a couple of years ago?
It was wonderful. We have such a good time when we get together, all of us, and we kid around and we joke, and but we focus when it's work time, but we just adore each other.
Who do you still keep in touch with from the cast of the Waltons? Who do you talk to frequently?
All of them. David and I communicate all the time. Eric, I follow them on Facebook. Judy's on Facebook, and Cammie, and I don't know. We're just it's just like any family, really. And they've all got their own kids, their own lives, but we're all still connected. We're just a phone call away from each other.
Fair enough. Finally, last question on the Waltons. Looking at pop culture history, what do you think the Waltons contributed to pop culture?
To pop culture? Nothing to pop culture, but in terms of humanity, I think the show resonated with people's hearts, and people identified with the family element. I went to Bangladesh, and I thought I was doing a tour for Save the Children. I was their spokesperson for a while until I flubbed a speech. But they're a wonderful organization, and going to Bangladesh and meeting all those terrific women who, they have nothing but white teeth and smiles. It's like whatever little thing they can have is a gift from God for these people, at least in this particular village. And we went to sleep. There was no electricity. We went to sleep when it got dark, and we woke up when it got light. It was that kind of an experience. But they had all watched the Waltons somewhere. I don't know where. And it was like I was an old friend to them. So it's reached people around the world. I got letters from Austria, from Germany, not so much from Italy, but England a lot. And they're still coming because the show's still on the air somewhere.
It sure is. moving along, focusing on your soap acting career, touched obviously you were on a bunch of different ones: General Hospital, One Life to Live. Memories from your time on the soap world.
It's hard work. Those people work harder than anybody else in the business, I think, because they have sometimes pages to learn overnight, because they're working every day a different show. They're not doing the same thing for 5 days. They're doing a different. And Jane Elliott got me the gig on General Hospital, which was a lovely part, I thought. And unfortunately, I had to die, but she got me that role, and she's just lovely. Those people are so generous because they know each other. They're family. They've been together for ages and ages. But you come on and you're the newcomer. You're the new kid in town, and they just give. It was a very happy experience for me. I wouldn't want to do it full time because it's a lot of hard, exhausting work, and I'm too old now. But it was fun. Let's put it that way.
Here's a random one. One of your movie roles, Touched by Love with Diane Lane. Reflections?
Oh my God, it was so long ago. I think I played a doctor or something. She was just a kid. She was so talented, and didn't she? You probably know it better than I do. I think it was a girl who was writing to Elvis Presley or something, and I played a doctor. It was so long ago.
I believe you're correct on that. I read the synopsis. I was just looking. I always look through a person's, acting careers, and I think, I think that was your first. Was that your first movie role? Am I correct on that?
I don't know. I really don't. Probably. I mean, I never thought of it as a movie. I just finished what is supposed to be an independent film called Wake. It takes place at a funeral, and it's a very funny script. So I don't know when that's going to come out, but I look forward to seeing it. I haven't seen any of it yet. And that was also a very nice experience. Actors are good people. Actors are, I don't know, there's so much snipe about competitiveness and Hollywood. And I just find most of the people I've worked with were lovely, generous, fun people to be with. So I guess I've been blessed.
I think so. The thing of what it comes down to is that I think the reality is in the acting world and the creative world and the entertainment world is we're all trying to accomplish these projects that most people will never go for or never accomplish. And when you start having some momentum and you find the people who agree with you guys, it's a relatable industry. It's why I think a lot of actors and creative people, their best friends are other creative people, because you relate to what it takes to actually get the job done, get the role, and actually accomplish it. So there's a lot of common understanding there, no?
You should write the foreword to my book if I ever write it. You've got it. You nailed it. Yeah, it's absolutely true.
I will keep you on that one. I would love to write the foreword to your book. No,
if
seriously.
I ever write it.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna tell you a story. Ernest Borgnine, 91 years old. I'm on the phone with him. I believe it was 2008. He was 91 years old when he released his memoir. There is always time. There's always time.
Okay, I better get going. I've written quite a lot, but it's not. I haven't written it. I don't think I could sit down and write. I was born in 1939 in Washington. I couldn't write that kind of a memoir. But I could put together some. I have quite a few little essays that I could maybe put together in a book and try to let an editor figure out what they have to do.
Why don't you just reflect on 20 of the greatest stories of your life? Like 20 of the greatest moments of my life, and tell those like as short stories.
What a great idea. Greatest moments. Yeah. But they're not all showbiz moments.
Yeah, but the reality of what it comes down to is that, like, I'll give you the greatest example. Arnold Schwarzenegger had a life in bodybuilding and politics besides acting. And he's got many life stories beyond the acting world and the Terminator, and people love hearing those as well. So my point is that everybody's got stuff beyond there. I think people want to hear the stuff beyond the show business world of who you are, what makes you tick, where you come from. People love that stuff.
Well, you're encouraging me to get back to it. Every day I wake up and say, I've got to write today. Every night I make a note to myself, write. And then I don't know, I get involved in the day, or I daydream, or I go down and eat cookies. I don't know. I just, I just put it off. And so I feel encouraged to get back to it and just share. Share who I am with who you are, others, you know.
Oh, I'd absolutely read it. I'd love to hear it. Just quick question: what kind of cookies?
Oh, I like lemon cookies. They're my favorite. Do I have to give a brand? Tate's lemon cookies.
Very good. Very good. Well said. All right.
That was my
Let me ask you a
breakfast
couple.
today,
Actually. Let me ask you a couple more.
I'm
Life
looking
interrupted.
myself in the
This
screen.
pilot. Life interrupted. This pilot that was on YouTube with Don Wells, Allison Arngrim, and Mason Reese. What was that experience like? Love that thing.
Did you? Oh, that's so nice. That was another one where I think I just worked 1 or 2 days. Another happy. I wasn't always happy on the Waltons, but I think part of that was because I felt torn between my own kids, and you know, the hours were just excruciating, and sometimes I just did nothing but ask questions. More coffee, John boy, for 15 hours, and it was hard for me. But now that my kids are grown, it's just fun to work. I really, painfully fun, because you're always nervous. Your ego always gets in the way and says, you can't do this. But Mason was fabulous. He was very sweet, very open, funny. Steve Wishnaw was the person who got me the job, and I just had a good day.
Oh, I loved it. I mean,
so good. Everything I have had. Mostly, I think the hard thing about doing a series is it seems like it's going to go on forever and ever and ever. Whereas when you're doing a movie or a guest star, you know it's going to be over. So if it's a bad experience and there's no chemistry, you know it's going to be over. Whereas if you're doing a series and you're having a difficult time, you feel like it's just unending and it's going to go on forever. So, drama queen here, I guess.
but here's what I'm going to say to you. When the Jeffrey Dahmer story came out on Netflix, seen by so many people at this point, you're on there as Catherine Dahmer. What did that do for your career? Did people like reconnect with you? Like, what did that feeling? What was it like for you a couple years ago when that thing came out?
I thought I did a good job. Because it's not me. So I don't usually tell myself that I did a good job. I usually say, why didn't you? We're terribly critical, as you probably know. Oh, why didn't I do this, or why didn't I do that? But I actually thought I did a good job. And I didn't watch the beginning of it because it's too creepy. So I did watch my stuff because I'm an actress and I have an ego, and I want to also know if I did a decent job. But it was wonderful working with Evan. He's a very generous guy, very sweet person, playing this serial killer. And I just, it's terrible to say, but I had a very good time. And I came home one day after shooting and all day, and my grandson, who's this tall, handsome, delightful, good-hearted, funny kid, and he opened the door. Hey, Granny Mikey, how was your day? And I thought, what if I found out he was a serial killer? What would that do to me? I mean, can you imagine? Do you stop loving your grandchild because he's a twisted, sick creep? No, I would love him anyway.
Here's my response. It's almost Halloween.
Yeah, I love Halloween. I always have.
All right.
Yeah.
Has anyone ever, like, in all these years, this is just a random question because we're finishing up here. Anyone ever dressed up as Olivia Walton? Has there ever been someone like with an iconic Olivia Walton costume ever?
Yes, I have pictures of fans who send me pictures of them with the hat and an apron and stuff like that. Yeah, they do it for fun. Maybe not so much now but back in the day. Yeah.
That is some fun stuff. Okay, last question, two last questions. We're based here in Las Vegas. We cover a lot of stuff in Los Angeles all the time, California, New York, and beyond. We're just based here in Vegas. We cover the stuff in Vegas too. Any Vegas stories, Vegas memories coming here, anything like that?
Well, I hit I scored on the slot machine once, and I have to tell you, you get this terrible rush, when you hit all these quarters. I mean, bags of quarters are suddenly flying at you, and I can see how addictive that could be. But I don't like gambling, so it was fun that day. But I don't like losing money to people who don't need it. The ones up there that are watching, that creeps me out a little. But there are wonderful shows. I've been down and I saw Elton John and several shows that were just the Cirque du Soleil, and that nothing beats the shows that are in Las Vegas.
Well, that's why we're here, among other reasons. The reality of what it comes down to is there's at least 50 live entertainment shows that go on here every night. And the people in this town who work in those shows, they, again, it's like the theater. It's like Broadway. They have to show up 6 days a week, do the same thing to a brand new audience, and do the same thing. And unlike Broadway, where you maybe have a show for 6 months. Yeah, shows go on for years, but a lot of times, Broadway shows, they have a 6-month run, and that's it. These people did this stuff for years, decades.
I know they're fabulous.
Penn and Teller are still here, of course, as you know. I mean, it's just
they're wonderful. Yeah,
it's just like crazy. David Copperfield's at the MGM Grand and all that stuff. People who have been here for decades are still performing in Vegas, and they do it, 5 times a week. It's incredible stuff.
It is. My hat's off to them. Yeah.
Finally, so here's the question. We've had a great 32 minutes here. What do you want to let your fans know that you may have never told them, or maybe something people don't know about you?
Oh God, I won't tell you what people don't know about me. Well, I'm certainly not Olivia Walton. I have a sailor's mouth, and that's me. But I want my fans to know, those who are still living, that I really appreciate them. I appreciate the letters I get. I don't get to answer every single one, but I try.
Here's my response. That's phenomenal. Okay, so Our Crossroads is going to have some screenings November, December. We'll put the link down below, obviously. Looking forward to seeing that, as always. The Olivia Walton, Michael Learn, thanks so much for joining us today on C1RB. I really appreciate your time today. This was such a fun conversation, really, truly. It means a lot.
Thank you, Chris. You made it that way. Thank you.